Hi everyone, in case you didn't already know, my name is Rhiannon and I'm a student of Jake Steiner's Myopia Method for Natural Vision Improvement. Today's video is a summary of a conversation that I've had dozens of times this year. We have some serious rising concerns about what all this excess screen time is doing to our vision and to our children's vision, and it's a valid concern. Much of this screen time is obligatory. We can't dispense with it even if we are motivated to do so. So what do we do to counteract it? Obviously, getting outside as often as possible, taking breaks as often as possible are the best things you can do to counteract that screen time. However, when you can't do these things because you are demanded to be on the screen, there are a few tips and tricks that help. The first thing you want to do is remember that natural light is the best light. My kids actually take their Chromebooks outside and work in the shade as often as the weather permits. The weather doesn't often permit, so their workstations are set up in front of the largest window that gets the best natural light in the house. It's nice and square to it so that they can look over their computer screens out into the distance as often as the curriculum allows, so that they can listen to the teacher and be attentive to the task, but also can look into the distance. This makes it easier for them to take their 20-20-20 breaks too, because they don't have to move or shift or go anywheres because they don't have time to do that, and they can just get that distance vision break. Obviously, as much as possible, they get up and go outside, but it's not always possible. So next best thing. Speaking of next best thing, we want to be very conscientious of our position. If we have to be in front of these screens, we want to make sure that we're being as kind as possible, not only to our eyes, but to our whole bodies. So my kids actually have a box that I decorated all nice and cutesy for them, because that's extra appeal, that they can put under their Chromebooks so that their screen is nice and level with their head, because those screens are relatively small, and otherwise we're doing this, and that's not good. That's not good for their back, for their neck. They're getting way too close to the screen. There's a suction effect, and this helps counteract some of that. But it can't permanently be set up that way because eventually they have to type for extended periods of time, and this gets awkward. So this way they are able to move the box easily with a quick shift and put it down on the table, and they can type in a comfortable position, and then they can add the box back in when they're not demanded to be full-time typing and get back to the good position. That suction, so important to be conscientious about it, and adults need reminders and kids doubly so. It's so important to not get sucked closer and closer and closer and closer to that screen. So set up your workstation to help resist that temptation as much as possible. Measure your workstation so that your differentials, if you need them, and if you need them, you should definitely use them, are set to that distance so that you can work comfortably without being sucked into the computer. But make sure you still have that slightest edge of blur. We're talking minuscule amount of blur. Your workstation should not be set up so that you're struggling, so that you're tempted to squint, or so that you're getting sucked into it because you can't clear it and it's getting distracting. You don't want to get headaches or cause strain or interfere with the work that you actually have to do. The sooner you get done and get off the computer, the better. But that littlest edge of blur is going to help prevent ciliary spasm and make the most of the stimulus while you're already there. So get the differentials if you need them. Don't resist it. If your kids need them, don't resist it. Don't introduce unnecessary strain. You're not doing anyone any favors. Finally, the weather, again, not always permitting. Some days there is no natural light coming in that window. It's so overcast, and cloudy and dreary and miserable. So we have a joke about turning on the sun, because I have a lamp at the kids' back that has 3 light bulbs in it. It's 1,600 lumens each, and it is bright. So barring the proper, good, natural light of the sun, it's the next best thing, and it's so important to supplement with light. Not having sufficient light is another course of eye strain and makes vision much harder than it needs to be. So get your supplemental lights if you can't get as much natural light as ideal. This is going to really help. I think that's it though. If I forgot anything, check the description below because I might put some notes or afterthoughts in there. I frequently do. Many of my videos are tailored to people who are just arriving to myopia and are looking for tips and tricks to get them started on their journey. So by all means, check out the rest of my channel. Please subscribe, and I appreciate feedback. So hit like, comment. I really do appreciate the feedback. And as always, best wishes in your journey back to 2020.